Welcome to the Coach's Break Room. Let's break down the Philadelphia 76ers at home against the Raptors. You guys know I'm a Sixers fan. Took a L last night. Let's break down the film. Let's see why. Let's see why we took a L. First, let's see the things that we did well last night. One bright spot for the 76ers last night was that Matisse Thybulle offensively had a really good game, right? Like, Thybulle is going to get these wide open corner threes, and he's got to be able to make them, right? I mean, there's really nothing to break down here. They leave Thybulle open. Teams are leaving him open because they don't believe he can hit an open shot. Maxey does a great job of just trusting his teammate and making the right play. Like, that's basketball. You got to hit the open guy. Whether he makes it or misses it, you got to trust your teammates. Maxey does, and you get this Thybulle three. Good shot. I talked about it in a previous video when I broke down the Sixers tape, man. James Harden does such a great job of manipulating the defense in screen and roll. It's what makes him so well. He plays with such great pace, and he manipulates the defense by using his eyes, right? He's coming off of this screen here from Thybulle. Thybulle's going to dive to the basket, and you'll see you got Harden, look, staring at Embiid. He's reading this guy right here. He's reading number 24. What's 24 doing? So he's got to hold him long enough by staring off this Thybulle pass, looking at Embiid. He's trying to hold this guy long enough to be able to feed Thybulle on the roll, and sure enough, as soon as he picks it up, staring at Joe, right, 24 wants to jump this pass, completely ignores the fact that you got Thybulle going to the basket, and you get the no-look pass right there. I mean, that's absolutely beautiful. That's great. That's a great job by James. There's not many better pairs in the NBA in the two-man game than James Harden and Joel Embiid, even though they only been playing for each other for about 11 games here. You're going to have this little dribble handoff here. James decides he's going to come back left, right? We get this little screen and roll here. And something that Joel Embiid is so great at is this little short roll. Because he's such a threat from 15 feet, he doesn't have to dive to the basket. Typically, Siakam would be in pretty good help on this roll, but Joel is going to kind of hit this little short roll to the elbow, and he's going to get a wide open jump shot, and that's a layup for Joel Embiid. Something we're going to see here is actually a defensive clip from James Harden, and I feel like as a Sixers fan, right, and as a coach in general, like, this is one of the things that's so frustrating about James Harden, because everybody will say that James Harden is a bad defender, and they're right, but James Harden actually has really good hands and really good instincts. It's just an effort thing, and he doesn't always seem like he's focused and locked in. Like, on this possession, you can tell he's dialed in. I mean, he's in a stance, which is, like, as funny as it sounds, like, that's progress for him. He's not always in a stance, but you can see he's in a stance, hands are ready to go. I wish they were up a little bit more, but you can see he's active. And he gets his hand on the ball because James Harden is able to do that. Like, James Harden has the ability to be a good defender. For whatever reason, he doesn't choose to be. Something as Sixers fans that we haven't really seen quite what we thought we would was an aggressive James Harden. Like, James Harden has been pretty passive. I think, that's part of just trying to figure out how to play with a new team and new guys around you. But here you'll see when he decides to get downhill and decides he wants to go be aggressive and go get a bucket, look how much attention he draws, right? Everybody's just watching the ball. Everybody's staring at the ball. You get him turning his back on Joel Embiid, who could relocate for a shot. You get this defender sinking all the way in. He really could kick this out to Toby for a three. And because Siakam turns his back on Thybulle, you get Thybulle with a great backdoor cut. And James is going to find him, and that's an easy 2 points. When James Harden is aggressive, the offense is great. When he's not, it's stagnant and it's not so great. Here's another example of just Joel Embiid being the MVP and the best player in the league this year. I mean, this isn't great offense, and that's kind of the theme of the night. Like, the Sixers just did not have a great offensive game. They did not score a lot of points, and they did not score efficiently. You get a little throw down to the elbow on Joel Embiid, and they just said, Joel, go get a bucket. It was weird. It was almost like the Sixers were playing like a vanilla brand of basketball, as if they didn't want to, like, tip their hand in a potential playoff series or something. But it's like, you got to just go play basketball, man. Like, when you're in a series, and I'm not saying that's what happened, but, like, if you're in a 7-game series, you're going to get scouted anyway. But it seemed very much like they didn't want to show too much. But you get this one-on-one, Joel Embiid reverse. Every time he falls, I think he's going to be hurt. It's a great finish. Just one-on-one effort. You would have liked to see just more ball movement overall from the Sixers in last night's game. One of the things that makes Matisse Thybulle so special, and it's why he continues to be in the starting lineup, even though people don't love his offensive game, is just take a look at this play here, right? He's in this screen. He's going over the top. Joel Embiid is in a really bad spot. Joel Embiid should be much, much higher here. He realizes, oh man, I'm late on this. And he had this little dump off is open. James Harden's going to drop in a little bit to try to help there. But the effort from Thybulle to be beat the way he was off that screen, yet come and make a play on the ball. I mean, Thybulle is an elite defender. Don't look now, but you're going to have another incredible effort from Matisse Thybulle. You get James Harden stuck in the screen. I think Niang got a little mixed up, doesn't know where he's supposed to be. He thinks that he's supposed to be guarding Scotty Barnes. Thybulle's already there. But Thybulle sees what's going on. He has great defensive instincts, decides to step up, make a play on the ball, another block, and now we're off on the break. Now let's take a look at the Sixers on the defensive end and see what the Raptors did, because, I mean, the game started off great for the Sixers. They were off to a big lead, but, like, stuff like this continues to be an issue, right? Like, Kevin Durant put us on blast and put the whole league on notice, if they didn't know already, that our transition defense isn't great. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, right? Which means we have a fifth guy somewhere back there, yet somehow Maxi's still backpedaling, lets a guy get behind him, and you got a dunk. Like, that just can't happen, especially when you have a guy back. Like, Maxey is already back. How's he letting that pass go over the top? Sixers go to the zone. We had some success with the zone against the Mavericks. I don't love zone, but we did have some success with it, so I ain't mad at it. Way to make him put the ball on the floor, but now we're leaving a wide open shot for Scotty Barnes. Let's see how that happened. So, puts the ball on the floor. Niang is dropping in, right? Now, at this point, there's got to be some kind of communication. I think that Joel Embiid has to step up a little bit to try to prevent the drive, and Niang was dropped down. Thybulle probably should have been a little bit lower trying to play two instead of leaving Niang on an island to have to go run out there. But again, when you're playing a zone, you're gonna give up threes. That's kind of the whole point of the zone. You usually play zone because you think a team can't shoot, or because you don't match up well, and you'd rather them shooting threes than just getting to the basket and putting you in foul trouble. And they hit a three. Good for them. Let's take a look at this play here, man. You get screen and roll, right? Or they're trying to play a little two-man game. Danny Green jumps the screen, so they're looking to ice it here, right? You put Scotty Barnes, force him to the baseline. So far, so good. The help's not bad. James Harden probably needs to be dropped down a little bit more. But, you know, you're not in a bad spot here. You're not in a bad spot. Ball goes to the corner. James is there. You get the one more. The problem is on that pass, Niang is kind of reacting. There's not really communication there. Niang probably didn't know that James Harden was there, and he thought he had to cover the corner because they didn't talk, right? So now you get the one more wide open pass. In this situation, what you would kind of like is some sort of like scramble and exhale. Like maybe Shake Milton goes and tries to run him off the line, and then everybody else will rotate. Understandably so. You get Shake kind of like stunting at him a little bit, like not really a full closeout. Niang tries to hustle out there, so it's not a lack of effort. Like that's not a poor effort play. Just a little bit of a miscommunication in the corner, and the Raptors just playing good basketball, man. You get that pass to the corner, and then one more, that's great offense. This situation here, you get a Scotty Barnes dribble handoff, but he's gonna fake it, right? Couple things here. One, I believe this is Shake Milton. He's looking to blow up the handoff, which is fine, but if he's gonna blow up the handoff like that, Danny Green shouldn't even be thinking of switching. Like Danny Green gets caught here because he's thinking to switch, but Shake Milton is blowing up the screen. So again, there's just no communication there. I would think Danny Green would want to be a little more sunk in that position if he's going to indeed be blowing it up. But that's not even a part I'm super concerned about. Like, it happens sometimes. DJ does a great job really of coming over, helping without fouling. You know, our boy here getting caught sleeping, not boxing out, kind of just watching what's going on. And because of that, you get a tip slam on somebody's head. Like, now Danny Green is on a poster, and it's really not Danny Green's fault. Got to wake up, got to box out. But those are the highs and lows, right? Like, that's what you're going to get with James Harden. Occasionally, he's just going to be sleeping on defense. All right, let's take a look at this play here. Let's see what we got. We get a little dribble handoff action. You got Scotty Barnes coming off of this screen and roll. Danny Green is going to go over the top. DJ is going to be in drop coverage. We talked about a lot how that's kind of like the standard pick and roll defense. But where we don't really get much help, right? Like right here, either James Harden or Toby's got to step up and be in help defense. I'd say it's probably James, right? Because if you don't want Toby to step up and give up that layup, which is what he's concerned about. You'd rather make them kick it out to Thaddeus Young, who's not the best three-point shooter. He's a capable three-point shooter, but he's not the best three-point shooter. So you know what? Thaddeus Young, if you're going to hit a three on this possession, great. But we're just watching. Toby's doing his job. He's got to be worried about that dump off, but James is just watching instead of stepping up and being there to help. And you get this little dump off in the middle of the lane, and that's a layup. So, yeah, man, that's a breakdown of the 76ers against the Toronto Raptors, man. The Sixers just didn't seem to really have it last night. Their offense was very stagnant. Defensively, the effort wasn't always there. And credit to the Raptors for coming in on a game on the road and getting the job done. This is a potential playoff matchup. Like, the Sixers were the 2 seed. The Raptors were the 7 seed coming into this game last night. Potential playoff matchup. We'll see how it goes. There's been a lot of talk. Should the Sixers be worried? I made a previous video about whether or not I think the Sixers should be worried about a week ago, and the same thing rings true today. I'm not too concerned. I think they need to defend better, specifically when they go to their second unit. But, you know, there's like 12 games left. There's some things they got to work on, and we'll see what happens. If you guys like the video, don't forget to like the video. If you enjoy these kind of breakdowns, subscribe to the channel today, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.